What's going on, guys? My name is Gio22. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a video talking about why the MLB free agents are not choosing to sign right now. Pretty hot topic right now in today's MLB's discussion. So I'm going to talk about that, a little bit, my theories, and why that's happening. Before we get into that, I have a Road to the Show playing in the background, so you guys can watch that or set the phone down, put headphones in, whatever you want to do. So let's get right into it. Alright, so this is going to be kind of a unorganized kind of video. I'm just going to kind of just rant about a lot of the reasons why they're not signing. So the first topic that I want to discuss is that they are asking a lot of money. And you look at JD Martinez and what Scott Boras has came out and said that he wants a $200+ million deal, and people aren't really willing to pay for that. And you see that JD Martinez over the past few years, he's had good numbers, but he's a late bloomer. You know, he's on the wrong side of 30. Just had his best year, arguably last year. And you want to pay a guy $200+ million in 7 years or 8 years, and he's going to be almost 40 years old by the time the deal is over. And I don't think teams are really willing to do that. And you look at the Angels, they just signed, Albert Pujols and that huge monstrous deal, and everybody kind of looks at that and laughs. And I think nobody really wants to be the subject of another joke. And I think that's one of the reasons why is that the guys are asking way too much money. And Darvish rumored to get in the range of $160 million. Well, he's on, I think he's 31 right now. You're going to have to pay him 5 years, a 5-year deal, $160 million. So you're a guy who's going to be 36 is going to be taking up $30 million, in 5 years. He could be terrible by then. It's kind of a crazy concept. Same with Jake Arrieta, over $100+ million for a guy who is going to be in his mid-30s. And it's very hard to predict the patterns of the aging process. You can look at fan graphs and all that, and how guys will age and how guys have aged in the past, but it's really just kind of player to player. You don't really know what's going to happen. So I think that trying to get a percentage, the 20%, 10%, 15%, 25% in some cases of a team's salary to one player, I just don't think the teams are really trying to do that, especially for players who are, older. Now you see Hosmer is kind of an interesting case as well. I mean, he's not 30. I believe he's 27 or 28. And teams aren't willing to spend big money on him. So you say, well, he's not old. Well, he is also asking for, almost $200 million. And you say, well, Eric Hosmer, man, he's a star. Well, look at his stats. He really hasn't, been that good. I mean, he has an average, I think, of about 2.8 or 3 WAR a year, which, I mean, you're going to pay a guy $200 million as he's only going to account for 3 wins. I mean, defensively, he's won a few Gold Gloves, but you look at his defense metrics, and he's really not that good. So Eric Hosmer, for me, you can just stay in-house and, hope a guy turns out and hits 260, plays good enough defense, hits 20 home runs. I mean, you don't need to spend $200 million on Eric Hosmer. So I think that's one of the reasons. It's just they're asking way too much money. Another reason is that the big market teams, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Tigers, even the Red Sox, they're not willing to spend money this year. The Tigers are kind of the odd team in this, is that they are, tanking. They just traded away Verlander. They traded away JD Martinez, traded away Kinsler in the offseason. So they're not wanting to spend money because they're in a rebuilding mode. Any money that they spend would be pretty much wasted. And plus, they are also, just had that Jordan Zimmerman signing that they're probably regretting at this point. But what you're seeing with the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, even the Nationals, just big market teams, Philadelphia Phillies, is they're trying to get under the luxury tax, which is set at $197 million this year. So once you get under that, if you get over that luxury tax, you have to pay, I think it's like 10% or 5% or something of your salary just as a tax, like to the MLB. So teams right now are trying to get under that, because if you stay over that for 2 years, it like doubles. It goes to 20%. You stay over the luxury tax for 3 years, it goes to like 50%. So teams, Dodgers and Yankees are trying to get under that threshold for next year and the year after, because that's when the big time free agents are hitting the market. You got Machado, you got Kershaw could opt out, you got Bryce Harper is a big one. You just got tons of names. I think Josh Donaldson, just a ton of names in the next 2 years, and they do not want to be paying that luxury tax for the next. They're not gonna. They want to pay their entire, half their payroll just to the MLB. So you're seeing the big market teams not willing to spend money, which is forcing the smaller market teams who usually can't bid for them. They're sitting around waiting. Well, what are we gonna do? We don't want to spend money because we're not trying to get over that tax threshold. We don't even have the money to spend. So you're seeing the big market teams who usually drive the market. They'll put in the first bids. They'll drive up the prices. They're not making bids for these players, which is causing the smaller market teams to just sit back and wait. So it's kind of a catch-22, is that you want these big market teams to spend money, but then again, you don't really want them to be having to pay taxes, and it's just everyone's at a standstill right now. The next reason is statistics, and it's a big movement that you see with MLB teams now, is that they're moving on to sabermetrics. A lot of these advanced stats, and you're not just seeing the batting average, you're seeing a WAR and WRC plus, and just all these crazy stats that you don't really see, and projections and stuff. And what you're looking at is that these teams are finding that these players that you normally spend big on are not that much better than the guys that you have on your farm, and that you can pay minimum salary, a rookie salary, or just very low. They're in arbitration, so you don't have to pay them $10 million. Way less than $10 million. And they're finding that marginally, that you want to stay at a budget. Excuse me. You want to stay below the threshold. You don't want to spend big. If you do want to spend big, you want to make sure the guy is good. He's going to be exceptional. Excuse me. You want the guy to be exceptional, and what they're finding is these players, for the price, is just not worth it. I'm going to take the Texas Rangers as an example. They have Joey Gallo. So you're going to pay Eric Hosmer $180 million to play first base for you and hit 26 bombs and hit 285? Or are you going to stay in-house, pay Joey Gallo, league minimum, $1 million a year, and he's going to hit 40 home runs? Yeah, you're going to do the Joey Gallo. You're going to save $19-20 million a year, and he's going to be as productive or just, or a little bit below productive as Eric Hosmer. So what you're kind of seeing with the teams now is they'd much rather stay in-house, save a dime or two, and not be a big spender. All right, last but not least, I think you're seeing these teams know that they have the leverage, is that the players are kind of, demanding these huge salaries, and the teams are like, look, we don't have to pay you. You can literally not even be signed. I'm not saying there's collusion going on. I'm not suggesting that at all. I don't think that's even possible right now. But you're seeing a lot of these teams, GMs and owners, just saying like, look, we're not paying you that much money. If nobody else is going to pay them, we're sure as heck not going to, just pay you $200 million if the next offer is $90 million. You know what I'm saying? So I think these teams, owners in general, they're kind of flexing their muscles. They're kind of showing these players that, like, look, we have all the leverage here. We're the ones who pay the salary. We're not gonna just give you whatever you ask for. And I think it kind of goes both ways. I'm not saying that the MLB players are underpaid by any means, but the owners do get paid a lot of money. And so you're kind of seeing these players want to get more money because they're like, oh, well, I think it was the Pittsburgh Pirates, oh, you guys went from $100 million franchise to over $1 billion in the last 6 years. Why are these players not seeing this money? Well, the owners are like, well, look, it's our business, so you guys can, play for us or not. We're the ones signing these checks. So I think that's what you're seeing is these teams are just saying, look, we're not going to pay you. And the players are like, well, we're not going to sign. And we're just everyone's kind of looking at each other awkward. It's like that scene in The Office. Everybody's got the finger guns at each other and just looking around like, nobody move. Well, in reality, nobody is willing to do anything. So that's kind of where we are. Anyways, that's it for me today, guys. I appreciate you guys watching the video to the end if you are here. Hit that subscribe button if you're not. Hit that like button. Just share it around. Really enjoy just making these videos for you guys. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.